So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Moodle, I'm going to create a short video introducing the PHP course. We already have a display capture. This captures the screen, and the video capture, which captures the webcam. We are already recording, and we have our screen and our webcam. So this is the course description, which I'm going to put within Moodle. And now for the introduction to PHP, we're going to be looking at an introduction to the programming language. We'll look at installation and development, the installation and development environment. We'll write some code, basic code, look at data types, logical expressions, loops, and finally we'll conclude with functions. We're going to be doing a number of assignments and tests or quizzes, and we'll be looking at our grades, our grade book. We stop recording, and then we get our recording from Show Recordings right here. So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Moodle, I'm going to create another video. I'm going to create so to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Moodle, I'm going to create a short video introducing the PHP course. We already have a display capture. This captures the screen, and the video capture, which captures the webcam. Okay, so we then open the video editor. Premiere Pro is what I use. There are other video editors, but generally the principle is the same. You put your video, you cut out the parts you don't want, and then you save it. You save the edited version. So I'll give my name, introduction. Then I will go over to OBS Studio, Show Recordings. I'll drag this. I'll drag this one right here. So in Premiere Pro, this is the raw file, and this is the staging area. I double click this so that I get my footage in the staging area, and then I can drag. I drag from the image here. I drag to the timeline. This is the editing timeline. So this is my video. I could resize this to create more room for the timeline. I could remove this track because I don't need it. This track, delete track. I also delete this other track. Then I expand this one so that I have a clear view of my audio waveforms. This I used to maximize. So in Premiere Pro, we have some tools here which we're going to be using for editing, and we have a playhead here. which moves through the video. So starting at the beginning, we can play through and we preview our video here. So this beginning part is something we don't want. We intend to cut it out. So to demonstrate it, another way in which we can use a label. So to demonstrate another, so starting here, we need to cut out this part. So we use a razor tool. This is the razor tool. It sort of snaps to the playhead. So we cut at that point. Then we go back to the selection tool. We select this area we need to cut out, and we hit the delete key on the keyboard. So we select this blank area and also hit the delete key to close this gap. So we've cut out that section. So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Modo, I'm going to create another video. I'm going to create a so to demonstrate. Okay, so now the first part, there was an error in the first part, so we need to cut out. We need to decide what to cut out now. Another way in which we can use a label within Modo. So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Modo, I'm going to create a, so we need to cut out this entire first part. So we'll go back to the razor tool, hit delete. So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Modo, I'm going to create a short video introducing the PHP course. We already have a display capture. This captures the screen, and the video capture, which captures the webcam. We are already recording, and we have our screen and our webcam. So this is the course description, which I'm going to put within Modo. And now for the introduction to PHP, we're going to be looking at an introduction to the programming language. We'll look at installation and development, the installation and development environment. We'll write some code, basic code, look at data types, logical expressions, loops, and finally we'll conclude with functions. We're going to be doing a number of assignments and tests or quizzes, and we'll be looking at our grades, our grade book. So we stop recording. So I need to remove this gap here where I was so silent. So you use the arrow keys to move, like very small steps, the left and right arrows. So at this point I cut this and I go there. So that point. So this part I cut out. our gradebook. We stop recording. Okay, so to demonstrate another way in which, so we've edited the video, and when we're done, we export it. Export, the shortcut is here under File, Export, Media, and the shortcut is Control M. When we export, this is the entire video. We will go to the bitrate. We shall say YouTube. This is the highest YouTube. Okay, this is a very good YouTube quality, which balances quality with file size. So we choose this one. We give this one a name. We call it introduction. Introduction. Raw, because we're going to edit it further. And then we save. We export. This coding process takes some time depending on your computer processing power. So this one is going to take 3 minutes. So our video is done, and for Premiere Pro, you can find it under Documents, Adobe, Premiere Pro 12.0, and here it is, Introduction Raw. So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Moodle, I'm going to create a short video introducing the PHP course. We already have PHP. We're going to assignments. Okay, so I'm going to further edit this video. Let me close this one entirely. Close project. Then I'll create a new project and call it course introduction. Here I'll pull this video, the one we've just cut out. To edit it further, I could just simply drag directly here. So to demonstrate another way in which we can use a label within Moodle, I'm going to create a and we have our screen in Moodle. And now for the introduction, so I'm going to cut out this entire first part. And now for the introduction to PHP. So to zoom in further here, we could pull this handle. And now for the introduction to PHP, cut out this as well. And start here. We're going to be looking at an introduction to the programming language. We'll look at installation and development, the installation and development environment. We'll write development. There was a whistle here. The installation and development, which we can take out. We can take out this whistle. If we continue, So we could cut this point. So now this section here is using the selection tool. We can drag the volume to the very bottom. In a development environment. Okay, that was development environment. We'll write some code, basic code. Look at data types, logical expressions, loops, and finally we'll conclude the functions. So we also cut out this other section. And we have our short introductory video. We save and we export, Control M, Windows. And we're going to call this simply introduction to PHP. And so we can match the source, because the source is already YouTube 1020 something. So we export. This one's going to take 1 minute. It's a small video. And then we go to YouTube, because we want this video to be on YouTube. On YouTube, so let's go to youtube.com if you have an account. Almost as a Gmail account. If you have a Gmail account, then you also have a YouTube account. So you sign in, and currently I am on the Uganda Matters University channel. So I switch accounts to my account, and here I create a video. There's this icon here at the top. It's always here. You click to create, upload a video. I go over to my video. So it's done. Introduction to PHP. I drag it to YouTube. It's uploading here quite fast. I could give it some properties, not for children. Next. And I could choose how to publish it there. Make it private. So only selected people can view it. Unlisted, meaning that anybody who has a link to it can view it, but doesn't show up in searches on YouTube. Somebody can't search for PHP and come across my video because it's unlisted. Public means it's public. People can find it by doing a search for PHP. They can come across my video. So I'll make it unlisted. That is what most of you would want. Then I could save. So this is the link to the video. I could copy it by clicking here and then close. So this is my video on YouTube. To view it, I click here and it will open up. We're going to be looking at an introduction. So this is my video on YouTube. All right. So when I go back to my course, what I want to do here first is to replace this image with the introductory video. So I'll click edit and let me just delete it entirely. Then in the introduction section, I add an activity or resource, and then I add a label. So the text, I'll say I could give this a heading, medium heading, and center it. This reveals more controls, and I center it. Then here I select HTML because I'm going to copy some code from YouTube. I select HTML. I'll go to my video and under share, I'll click embedded and then copy this code. I can either just copy it here, or I will click copy, and then it's copied on the clipboard. Link copied to clipboard. Then I go back to my label and paste this whole iframe tag. Then for activity completion, I will say completion tracking. Don't indicate completion tracking because there is no need. Okay, you might want somebody to check if they have seen the video. So let's have this checked. Completion tracking enabled. And save. So this introduction section has this video, but it's appearing at the bottom. So we want to drag it to the top. So that is the first thing that appears. So now we have a label here which has text and a video in it. And when students, let's move to the student view. So this is how the students will view the course. They'll after at the beginning they'll be presented with the introductory video. We're going to be looking at an introduction to the programming language. We'll look at installation and development, the installation and development environment. We'll write some code. You can maximize the view by clicking here. Look at data type, full screen, logical expressions, and press escape to go back. Include the functions. So when students have finished watching this course, they can manually check and to indicate to you, the lecturer, that they have actually completed watching the video. Completion tracking is useful. Let me first return to my original role. Completion tracking is useful when you go to course management and you click activity completion. You'll be able to see who has watched the video. So if they tick, then it will indicate that they've watched the video. There's some instances where you don't want completion. Now, for example, this is a label. It's just a label indicating that this is an installation section. You wouldn't want completion tracking here. For installation, for development environment. So we're going to go back and take those out. Going back to the course, turn editing on. So for installation here, we don't want this completion tracking enabled. And for development environment, we also don't want this enabled. So we go to edit and we turn activity completion off. So we see installation is simply a label without activity completion. Same with development environment. So switching to student role, the students will need to manually check this to indicate that yes, I have watched the video. Then they also have to check this to indicate that they have downloaded the attachment and also accessed the folder, access the content in the folder. This is just a label. Actually, we can edit this label to make it look more like a label. Going back to my original role and turning editing on, we could edit this and remove the italics and center it and perhaps underline it. So same as this one, we edit this, we remove the underline and we center it and we underline it. So now when we return to the student view, you see that our labels are quite neat. We have a label containing a video, we have a link, we have an attachment to a PDF slide, we have a link to a folder which has several resources in it. It's got a CSV file and a PDF file. We have a link to a survey. This is a link to a Google survey, and we also have a page. So that is what we can do with labels. We can use labels in that sort of way.